Brava Pizzeria in Denver, Colorado, who is doing Operation Family Meal out of Avanti Food and Beverage, a collective eatery. And we got our man, John Hinman, 6 feet apart, keeping the social distancing going. Appreciate you guys taking some time this morning. I know you guys are hustling some food out there, so I want to get the word out to people. Thomas, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having us, Jensen. We're excited.
Yeah, real quick, as always, a couple of housekeeping items to get everyone the support that they need. COVID-19 restaurant information thread on the Best Served Podcast Facebook page, real-time updates and information, links to anything and everything you need, including things like Operation Family Meal, Chow, John's organization, as well as unemployment, anything and everything going on with the stimulus package. So get on that thread, comment with following, and or share that so you can get information. We're hustling to get as much on there as possible, as well as the hashtag 86 coronavirus virtual tip campaign to get people direct donations with your Venmo or PayPal as well. So, Thomas, when John told me about this, I was fucking pumped at a high level because just one, getting people fed, super important. But two, not just getting fed, but getting fed well, I think is something interesting. I know for myself, the first week, I just fucking crushed bags of potato chips like I was getting paid to do it. And like realized I just wasn't taking care of myself. And so, you know, eating some greens and stuff yesterday just felt really, really good. So I like that it's coming from that chef-driven place, that it's thoughtful, well curated. So thank you for that. So the thesis of this show, why and who before what and how, why and who, so important, why we do what we do and who it is we serve. So talk about that a little bit, why you took the initiative and who it is that you're trying to serve.
Yeah, no, I mean, we jumped on, I look at this from kind of a multifaceted approach of what's happening. Number one, we're in the hospitality business. And, I think you probably heard from a lot of our guests, we're least hospitable to ourselves. So I think there's a big part of that. And the other piece is, it's such a drastic thing that happened so fast. I mean, we went from a full-blown, hey, it's going to be another record-setting year for the restaurant industry throughout the country, and then overnight almost, it instantaneously kind of crashed. So what where I kind of seen where we had some things coming in is, number one, we've got a lot of food in the system that's just it's stuck in the system now because the demand falls off of all of our vendors, all of our restaurants, everybody falls. And the other piece is we've got this potential for a short-term humanitarian crisis because now we get people that get laid off. You get your last paycheck, and it's going to be a few weeks before we see any, what is that stimulus going to be, or what is that effect going to be? But just importantly, actually getting that money into the hands, and so that people can eat, so they can pay their rent, so they can take care of their obligations. And it's such a crazy time right now. We already all have enough things going on to stress about and worry about. So we looked at it from that front, and what kind of spurned it is, we had a bunch of dough and pizza ingredients that were going to go long, and they were gone anyway. So we fired up one of our mobile wood-fired ovens, and we just started cranking pizzas and freezing them and sealing them. And the goal was just to start getting food out, and then we started thinking about it. All of our other partner restaurants that had food that's just sitting in the walk-in that a lot of places were forced to shut down just because the economics didn't work or whatever that unfortunate situation was. And we're put in that position to where we had to close down our business, and for whether it's May 11th or whether it's, whatever that day that comes into, but we're in that position to where we're not out there generating revenue. We're not out there, so it came from a point of what are people going to need in the short term, and again, good, bad, or indifferent, a lot of our industry lives on that paycheck to paycheck model. A lot of everything else really gets from there. So we're going to make sure that resources are available for us when we need it. And just importantly, kind of recapturing some of that waste that's going to go there. And that was kind of the antithesis of kind of bringing it all together is how do we do this? How do we get it to people? And just importantly, take these amazing chefs, kind of my adage is idle minds and idle knives generally aren't great combinations for chefs. So it's been awesome. We've got partners that have been coming on board and jumping in, and other chefs that are just donating their time because they want to get out of the house. Now that we're on system-wide lockdown, now that we're, there's, I guess, only so much Xbox you can play, and it keeps your mind engaged in other things. And just importantly, we're able to help our broader community and give back to who's made this possible. Because we're quickly to be forgotten as that underappreciated, and we don't appreciate ourselves. It's hard for us to take gratitude. We're always so inspired to make sure that our guests are happy, that our customers are happy, that the last thing that we do is make sure that ourselves are happy. And that's why we jumped on kind of joining teams with John and over at Chow, was because for me, it's a holistic approach of balance, of well-being, of pulling things together. It's that mind, body, and soul approach. We've got to nourish all aspects of us as people and us as humans and us as what we can accomplish.
Fucking preaching, man. This is good. Man, this is good. I'm fired up. I don't know if I want to eat or cook or both, but that's what we really need. To the point, we just don't take care of ourselves that well. We forget about our internal guests, right? Like our community, our people. But also, we're proud, to say like I don't need a handout, but that's not what this is. This is paying for the hospitality that you've already put into the system. You've already earned this. Tenfold, 100-fold, you've earned this. So recognize that. Anybody listening, share this with people in the Denver area, as well as anywhere in the country. We're seeing these type of operations pop up. I want to support that more and more. And I think the way that you're going about it is creating a really good roadmap. So I definitely want people to pay attention as well as just get some food. So I love the holistic approach, the thinking. It's crystallized in a really meaningful way. Done. Heard. Yes, chef. Now, how do you actually accomplish it? Let's get into the practicality of it. Talk about that. Sponsors, how you get the food.
We jumped in when we got rolling. We spearheaded it, and then we went back to Avanti just because we knew we had a lot of great chefs, a lot of great concepts, and we said, how can we make this something that's bigger than what it is? I mean, there's a big need out there. We've got, it's a rare time where there's a lot of incredibly talented chefs that are available to help out. There's a lot of products that are out there. So we did a couple of reach out to some of our produce vendors and seeing what they have. And like, oh yeah, we got 16,000 cases of things. What do you guys need? And then, so from there, it's been amazing. My hat's off to the nonprofits that are doing this day in and day out. Just understanding the logistics supply chains, understanding good sourcing, bad sourcing. Not just picking up everything. We've definitely got a lot of what we've jumped in, and some of these products that we've had. We're like, oh, maybe next time we know this. So we really jumped in, and we luckily we've got a pretty large commissary facility, so we have good dry storage, good cold storage, good frozen storage, and that's really where we jumped into. We took it offsite to our commissary that we prep for our mobile side of our business and for our catering side of our business, and also supply some to the Avanti. And it gave us that space. It gave us, and luckily. I'll say that. Unfortunately, the industry's slowed down, so there's more space available to us here. So it's been a place where we can bring more teams of 10 or 15 people. So we've team members, Secret Sauce and Vesta Grill have been a huge help. They've been jumping in and day out, bringing in. We've got our friends over here with Mida over at Bongi. They're actually doing some salads right behind us. See if we can get a.
Yeah, nice. The untold hospitality heroes, man. Those are our people.
So it's everybody's just they're jumping in. So it's just been really connecting those pieces. We find that supply piece, and we've John. He's been on his other side of the business, running a bakery, and he's got a supply truck. So he's been more than generous. And we get calls, we get emails, we get messages from restaurants saying, "Hey, we've got some stuff left over." Same thing from our produce suppliers. And as we go out into the community, more people are reaching out to us. Because at first it was much more of us jumping in and saying, "Hey, what do you guys do that's about to go along?" And that's kind of how we decide our menus. Is we're like, what product can we get? And then we'll engineer a menu based on the product versus going and like, hey, we need these things. Because I would much rather, at this point, we're trying to recapture as much of that, not only that food that's going to go bad, and there's some food we might be a little heavy on. So we're working and getting out other food relief organizations that are out there, that food that we have processed and preserved, whether it's frozen, whether it's cooked. And now we can take some of those exits that we have and give it back into the system for other programs to be able to do the same. And then once we got the food kind of distribution portion, figuring out our food sourcing, we jumped in. We partnered with Chow. So we've been soliciting donations. We've gotten some amazing callback. We're actually getting ready to announce we've got a $6,000 matching donation coming live from Tito's Vodka. So they'll match it dollar for dollar.
Oh, wow.
$1,000 of what we got. Working with John will jump on and talk a little bit about another matching contribution that we already cleared for 500 sessions of relief counseling for anybody in the industry, and we'll talk more about that coming soon. So we've just been getting, and then the other big is now we're getting other in-kind sponsors. Nyman Ranch is coming on next week and bring us tons of cases of some amazing product, sausages and ribs, and just allowed us to really tie in some of that produce that we have going. And then the last part was the distribution, bringing that all together. So we jumped on with our partners over at Avanti, the Avanti management team, as well as kind of some of the other concepts, and that's kind of spurred to where we have other distribution locations. So we've got Bistro Georgette based out of Avanti. They've got a restaurant down in Wash Park called Olivia. Kid Arepas has a restaurant down in South Pearl. We've got a couple of other distribution points that have come online that where they're like, hey, we'll take these. We'll help. We'll be a landing point. Because our goal was my thought here is like I want to get this to the people that really need it. Those cooks that are in the kitchen working 60 hours a week that are supporting 3 kids that are barely getting by paycheck to paycheck, and that paycheck gets gone quick. And I think there's going to be relief coming. But it doesn't come overnight. It's going to be a couple weeks lag before the time that where we have a need, which is now, and by the time the system catches up. So our goal is how do we make it accessible to the people that really need those resources, those services. And so that's why we've got, I believe at this point, we've got 5 sister distribution restaurants. We're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 to 2 at each of those locations. You can jump on, you can go to operationfamilymeal.com. That'll redirect you to our landing page, give you a little more information as to exactly the addresses of all those locations that we have on as far as our partners and our partnership availability.
And so on the back end, best way to get a hold of you to connect with resources or hands is operationfamilymeal.com.
Yeah, you can do email information or info at operationfamilymeal.com. You can go to operationfamilymeal.com. You can shoot me an email, Thomas at bravapizza.com. Or my phone's always open, 720-519-5352.
Okay, so I just threw the website up on there, but I'll circle back and we'll tag all the restaurants and stuff as well, and definitely all those organizations that are supporting on the back end want to definitely promote that good behavior for sure. So give us an idea of the scope and size of this. Saw 3 people back there doing salads. How many people have thrown themselves into the mix with you?
We've had about. I want to say probably about 20 volunteer chefs over the course of the project. We've produced probably about I want to say 3,500 portions so far. We've processed through probably at least 10,000 pounds of produce, I suspect. I mean, we've done few, I want to say at least probably about 300 cases of different produce items and proteins and kind of everything else. So we're ramping up for a big push. We've got a lot of stuff on that's ready for distribution, and then getting ahead a little bit and just importantly being able to capture as much of that food as we can.
All right, I'm going to take the time to get every single name of somebody who's helped out because I want to tag them. I want them to be fucking heroes, just like people in healthcare are heroes. And teachers doing online teaching right now are heroes. Like truly, when we talk about unsung hospitality heroes, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is next level supporting the community, because I guarantee those chefs are hurting as well. So the fact that they
absolutely. No, and it's amazing, to watch that generous. I think, for me at least, giving back to someone else in times of need. I'm living my life, my business day by day, hour by hour, and it's hard to plan because we don't have a cohesive message of what to expect. Right. What does the stimulation look like? What are these aspects? So we still have the stressors of how are we going to pay our rent? How are we going to take care of those things? So for me, jumping in and giving back, and it's before we really move into that next evolution and that next idea of what's happening. We can at least get some comfort, some stability in the system, and inspire. My executive chef. John has jumped on and really kind of spearheaded, just really, rocking and rolling and taking my crazy idea and dealing with all the fun and the logistics. And, I'm just like, oh, hey, we got another 40 cases of produce coming in. Let's figure it out and see what we can do.
Figure it out. He just said, yes, chef, I'm sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, he jumped in, and, we haven't, I feel like I'm working just as hard, if not harder. I mean, we haven't, we've been rolling for about 13 days straight now, so just kind of getting things rocking and rolling, and but keeps us sane and keeps us going, and keeps the energy up. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
So Monday, Wednesdays, Friday, 12 to 2. You got the 5 different locations. You guys are cooking out of Avanti. How many people can you actually serve?
Yeah, I mean, so we're cooking out of up at our commissary, so we're outside of Avanti. So we've got a little more space for storage. I think there. Avanti's beautiful, but our storage space is very limited there. So we can, provided the supplies are good, we have the output to where we could probably serve 400 at the current operational pace that we're doing right now. We could easily ramp that up to, we could probably, getting creative, we could probably hit 1,000 meals a day without completely shifting what we're doing. So,
wow, man, that is a lot of people. Okay, and we need more people to show up, right? The idea is like we want to push you guys to do 1,000 because
exactly. I mean, we're here. We're here for the community. We're here to get people fed. We're here for people that need it. And that's why we're doing this. It's chefs helping chefs. It's chefs helping the hospitality industry in general. It's us giving back to ourselves. We've given for so long to everybody else, and we want to make sure that we're not forgotten. That society doesn't, because we're that thankless warrior. We're that it's a grind. It'll chew you up and spit you out if it lets you. And a lot of us are those unsung heroes that we bring so much joy to people's lives on a daily basis, and most people don't realize it, because it's that iron curtain, it's that steel door that shuts, and that's what happens in that kitchen. It's kind of that black box, and magic comes out. But people don't take that time a lot of times to appreciate what's happening, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do here is to appreciate our friends, our family, our teams, our members, and really make sure that we're taken care of in this time of need.
People don't want to see how the sausage is made, and we get ground up pretty quickly in that. Tell us who is I don't even know the word, qualifies to be able to get a meal that they're in hospitality, food and beverage restaurants. Give us an idea of.
Obviously we're really targeting. There's a lot of amazing food relief organizations out there that are helping. Whether it's underprivileged youth, whether it's high at risk senior adults, but we didn't really see much that's happening in our space. And really, we're targeting hospitality, because it's not just food and beverage. It's travel and tourism. I mean, that sector of the economy is pretty much ground to a halt. It's all those things that happen. So kind of we're looking at that broader hospitality stream of individuals that are out there that have that need, just because, that's the most immediate impact on our economy right now, based on the fallout of what's happening is, like I said, for all intents and purposes, that which equates to almost, 15 to 20% of our economic output is almost ground to a halt. And the same deal is, we've got 10 to 12% of our workforce, of the nation's workforce, is in the hospitality industry, and just followed behind that is another 10% in the retail industry, which is, outside of our core staple retail of our grocery retailers. For all intents and purposes, the retail is hurting really pretty significantly as well right now.
Let's talk food, my friend. Chef, between you and me, what's on the menu? I'm hungry. Just
we've been cranking, and it's amazing some of the sponsors that we've brought on and some of the produce. So we're just kind of taking what we have and recreating. Like I said, the first thing that we started with is we just kind of did our let me get a picture of that, our wood-fired pizzas, and we par-baked them. And just got them in packaging, got them frozen. So, it's an easy thing for people to be able to throw in. We've got a ton of great, we're like today. So part of our meal today, we're getting little wood-fired pizzas. We're getting some, where'd it go? There it is. Nice little kind of at-home charcuterie package, a few different meats, a few different cheeses that'll be going in there. This one will be a little more interesting. We've got some braised barbecue pulled pork that we've got, kind of some, there it is. A little bit of some rustic mashed yams, some nice little broccoli, some roasted broccoli, and a walnut arugula pesto. That's going on that.
You're fancy now. Happy over there.
So, and that's kind of we've got some amazing talented chefs. We've got access to some great ingredients. So let's still, take care of ourselves well. Let's take care of ourselves right. I think that's, for the most part, the great thing about being into the kitchen is generally you get to eat well.
That's a legit dinner party right there,
It's funny, like, it's like just nourish people, get them the food, but don't lose the creativity. Still bring it from here.
Yeah, well, as chefs, we usually get to eat pretty well, but unfortunately, our kitchen's been shut down, and our access to that is, so we still want to make sure you're taken care of. And today we're going to do a little bit of distribution. Our goal is not to be a program to replace all of your meals, but we want to supplement. Right. Where we can, so we'll send out 3 or 4 different items. We've got the fresh salad being made in the back here, and we'll supplement with 3 or 4 different items. So you've got a couple of pieces that, something for tonight, something tomorrow. We've got I think we made a couple of quiches and a couple of stratas, which is like this beautiful Italian egg bread amalgamation of just deliciousness. So we're just kind of getting some things out there so people, and then we've got soups galore. I mean, I think we've made 8 or 10 different types of soups. I mean, we're just finishing up a French onion soup that we have. We've got a nice pork green chili we pulled out. We've got butternut squash. We've got a split pea asparagus soup with a ham split pea asparagus soup. We got creamy bacon leek potato soup, so we've just been trying to get some things that, that store well, that transport well, that freeze well, just so people can use them when they need them.
I really like this because you mentioned we eat well in the kitchen, except you eat good food cold standing up. So now you might actually be able to sit down for a moment and have a warm meal, which I'm really excited about the notion of that. I'm sure a lot of people in restaurants are too, to keep that positivity that they just, I feel like eating that food is just going to feel like back in the restaurant. I think that moment of levity is going to be really important.
It's going to be like, hopefully it nourishes the soul. And it's a weird thing, for me, there's a couple nights I've actually been home sitting around and ready to eat dinner at 6 o'clock. I don't even know what that's like. For at least the last decade that I've been doing this, like it's not a normal thing. So being there and like sitting around at 6, you're like, oh man, what is this all about? But it's that kind of puts it perspective on that side of things. And now we've got some great meals to be able to hopefully nourish the mind, body, and soul, give you something warm that that hits you, and then just importantly, teaming up with our other partners that gives us those other resources that are out there that make sure that we weather the storm. Because this will pass. And we'll come back resilient as ever. I mean, in us in the restaurant industry, we're marginally crazy, I guess, as what they can call us. I mean, we're gluttons for punishment. We like the uncertainty. We like the unknown. We like the so we'll learn, we'll adapt, and this is going to be a fundamental shift on a lot of things in the way that we look at things. But we're going to come back bigger, stronger, happier, healthier. As an industry, as a country, as a nation, as individuals. And we just want to make sure that in that transition period, you're taken care of, and all fronts and all facets.
I love it. I am inspired. I have a new mission to get you to 1,000 meals a day. We're going to spread the word and get as many of our unsung hospitality heroes out there to get the support that they need. Sometimes we get a little prideful, and so I think now is the time again to recognize that this is not a handout. This is family meal. You've earned this again and again and again for years and years and years. So really appreciate that, Thomas. Leave us with a little bit. At 6 p.m. when we're at home, we don't know what to do with our hands. What are a couple things on the playlist? Are you listening to, watching, reading?
Yeah, so I'm listening to The 50th Law. It's the gentleman that does the 49 Laws of Power, but it's his following 50 Cent and how he's unique because he came from the streets and he has nothing to lose and he's a grinder and a hustler, and kind of some of those laws. The other one that I just rereading just because the time of politics is always my cerebral mind of what's happening there, is The Dictator's Handbook. And pretty much just tells about how all politicians are the same and their goal is political survival, and the decisions they make are based in that facet. And it's kind of an interesting one. And then I've just been cranking through just a lot of different podcasts. Really kind of, a couple of restaurant marketing ones, a couple of, This American Life's always on my playlist. And then just, and I've been a big fan of, let's see here, the Tiny Desk. If you're familiar with NPR's Tiny Desk, they're doing for the contest winners. So I've just been kind of churning through some of those submissions that have been coming in, and always a good way to get exposed to a lot of interesting random styles and some great artists.
I love it, man. We'll get those all tagged up so people can have some binge-worthy stuff. Thomas, get back in there and get people fed. Let's get John in here.
A couple quick, absolutely. A couple quick things when you hit. We're looking for help. Whether you have food that you'd like to donate, whether you have, the big things for us is going to be proteins and packaging. To-go containers. Just as importantly, getting on and working through some to-go or some either time and or financial donations. We've got a donation button if you jump onto OperationFamilyMeal.com, as well as we're always looking for chefs that have knives that would love to get out and just kind of get back to the community a little bit. And just as importantly, fridge and freezer storage space is always a plus. So if you've got some centrally located fridge or freezers that you have access to that you can help out with, we can always use that.
Okay, we are going to ring the gong hard for you, my friend Thomas. Really appreciate the leadership that you're showing in this time.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I'll be in and out, and we'll let John slip on behind me.
Yeah, we'll watch you running around getting salad.
Make sure everything's ready to rock and roll. Awesome. Thank you, guys. It's all yours.
Good morning, Jensen.
My man, you are everywhere, John. I appreciate you for making this connection and just being out there, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Just doing what we can, what's put in front of us today, you know.
No doubt. Well, he mentioned the connections that you have. It was great talking to Heather and you. Kesed Wellness, we'll get that linked up as well because of that grant that you guys have going where 500 wellness check-ins, consultations through Kesed Wellness will connect with that. I want to talk a little bit specifically about Chow. You hosted the first Zoom kind of dinner table this week and have another one going, what, tonight?
Yeah, we had like a lunch meeting yesterday. And then tonight we've got Joshua Olson on from Warren Tech, Acres at Warren Tech. So he's going to tell his story for 15 or 20 minutes, a little farmer's perspective. So, and then we're going to open the room up. So join us for that tonight. The website, Facebook page, and you can zoom right in. Click on the link and open automatically.
Good. So give us a little bit more. So Joshua Olson speaking tonight. Is the plan to have somebody within the industry kind of just tell a little bit of a story to set the tone for the evening, and then are people bantering? Give us an idea of what's happening inside that room.
Well, you should come. But
Yes.
It's been a lot of fun, and you know, we've got some people who came on from Seattle yesterday.
Okay.
So we're starting to get a little more national. But I'm thinking Monday nights we're going to do a dinner. So 5 o'clock dinner. So if you can go get your Operation Family Meal, cook it up, hop online, or it's open to whatever. Let's talk about how we cook that. And then Wednesdays, kind of like dinner, check in, kind of see how everybody's doing meeting. And then Friday night, I want to get a going every to tell their story. Great topic.
I really love this platform because I think we're such social animals, especially in hospitality. We need that interaction and that banter. So to be able to have that in a new digital landscape, I think is important for us because otherwise we're going to go fucking stir crazy in our heads. And I think that's important. So we just have to shift to a new landscape. Sometimes we say, no, we want people in our room, just the room has shifted, but the hospitality has not. So I really appreciate that. What are you bringing to the table tonight, John?
What am I bringing for food?
Good.
I have no idea yet. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna probably grab one of those. That brisket sounded good. I had the pizza. Did you see that charcuterie bag? I mean, come on. That's like a $15 bag at Whole Foods. You know, that's massive.
I'm a fan. I'm all in on that. John, tell me. I'm really interested when you have these moments of just like, shit, this is rough. What do you cook? Is it a pie? I feel like it's a pie, but what is it that you're making that just creates that moment of for you as a chef?
Okay, here we go. So,
all right, bring it.
It did show up. I had my Triscuits and my Cheetos, or my, remember from the last thing?
Yes. Go check out John's full episode on the Best Served podcast, and he talks about what is it, Triscuits and Cracker Barrel cheddar.
Yeah. And now this is going to get worse. Okay, so I went to the store the other day, and the bakery wasn't open, so I was like, I need some bread. And all I had was hot dog buns left. So I grabbed the hot dog buns and I grabbed the last package of Oscar Mayer wieners, and I've been wrapping them in a paper cloth and then microwaving the whole thing for 30 seconds, and you get like this steamed hot dog, and then relish and mustard. That's what I've been kicking on this week.
Oh man!
And then
let's get Thomas back in here. He needs to get you some of those greens, man.
Yep, he's kind of working up over here for me. Look at this, even some more.
Yeah.
Red pudding looks like, or no, that's the strata. We got all sorts of great stuff. But and then Eric Chiappetta made an awesome lasagna the other night. So he lives across the hall from me now. So we've had.
Nice. Oh yeah. I saw the video of him making lasagna. He's hyped on lasagna. The smoked lasagna, I remember, it's a thing for him. It's so funny. Denise Mickelson was on yesterday, and she had an article about what the whole 5280 crew is kind of guilty pleasures. Binge eating right now, And it was funny. I was like, I am always eating Annie's mac and cheese when we make it for the boys.
Oh, I
and I hide in the kitchen. I don't even take it out of the pan. I just eat it with the spoon, and I kind of like lurch in the corner a little bit. I don't know why. It's just like a chef thing or something. And always people the boys saying, I hope they don't want any more because I'm about to crush the rest of this pan of powdered cheese mac and cheese. But you got to do what you got to do to feed this sometimes as much as the rest of your body.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. All right, John, you gave us a couple really great vinyls. If you guys are into vinyls, you should check out John a couple days ago. We had him on the live show in your spot. Your vinyl collection is wicked. What are you listening today as you're running around trying to get people fed?
As opposed to have I made any changes from the beginning?
Have you made any changes? Have you expanded upon your playlist?
Metallica's Black has
all right
been there lately. And that has been the big swing in the musical genre right now.
You seriously amped up. You're ready to mosh.
Yeah.
Out there. I like
windows have been downable. I've been able to drive around town blasting Metallica. It's like I'm 17 again,
I love it. In the quiet streets, there's nobody to pull up next to and start revving your engine as you blast Metallica to race them.
It's just so weird out there, man. Like you can see it at the very end of Blake Street. You can see all the way to Aurora campus.
Yeah, I saw a drone video of the streets of Denver, and it was eerie. It was eerie. So I appreciate that there's some action. I love most people have been in their houses, their homes when we're doing this show. I love that there's some action behind you. So John, thanks. Continue with the leadership. And
thank you. Join us tonight at 5 o'clock. Come on, Jensen. 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I might have to bring the boys on too. I'm cooking dinner every night.
That's cool. It's just a community, and people are talking right now. It hasn't gotten like crazy serious, and nobody's, done anything. It's just been a great community, and it's nice to have the conversation going on.
Good. I like keeping the conversation, food and stuff. So if we don't get into politics, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, John. Appreciate you. Get back to work, my friend. Take care.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, here's the meal going out for this weekend, if you can see that.
Yes.
Don't even know that. There we go. Which direction?
There it is. That looks unbelievable. All right, everybody. Get yourselves out there. Get yourself fed. Share this with every single person you know that works in hospitality in the Denver area because we need this. We need to keep those chefs working because I can see the smiles on people's faces as they walk by. This is nurturing to them as much as the people that they're feeding. So appreciate you guys. Truly, the leadership is it's unbelievable and so much needed right now.
Thank you, Jensen.
All right, be good.
You too.
Those guys, chefs, people in the hospitality industry, the amount of giving is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's so inspired, so inspiring. So I am grateful to be able to talk and have a conversation. And so I am motivated. I'm gonna get the word out there. Anybody watching right now, anybody who watches this, get people fed. Get people fed. The simplest thing that we can do, get people fed. So the hospitality industry has some heroes there, some of those unsung hospitality heroes. I love seeing them back there making salads and they're working hard. Yet I bet they are so happy to be doing it. Thank you, everybody. Continue to engage, interact, questions, comments. How you doing? What are you doing? What are you listening to? I need all of it. I need the banter. I need the interaction. I am such a communicator that if I got to show up every day and have these conversations to get that fix myself and to bring some value to everybody watching, I am truly, truly grateful to be able to do it. Tomorrow's show, I'm going to be talking to Jeremy Holloway. Excuse me, Jeremy. Jeremy Holloway. Got your name. Was a sommelier at Mercantile Dining and Provisions in Denver, Colorado. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be laid off in this moment, going through the process of unemployment and that madness and some positivity. What happens next for us? He's got a great attitude. I'm excited to talk about it. So people, you got to start sending me some hats. I need them. Hit me up. I'll give you my address. I'm just going to start putting on the boys' masks. if that's what it takes to motivate everybody. I think I just broke it. I appreciate you guys as always. Be good. Cheers.